Welcome to my channel, English for All Reasons Good, based on the CBSE guidelines and syllabus. Now, in this lesson today, we are going to do literary devices of the poem The Road Not Taken, the part 2 of the explanation. Now, in the literary devices, first of all, we'll do rhyme scheme. So, rhyme scheme of this poem, it is A, B, A, A, B. Now, how to find out the rhyme scheme? Let's discuss that. So I've taken the first stanza. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now you can see that the last word of every line I've highlighted that. But this wood word, stood and could, that is in blue color, and both and undergrowth, that is in green color. Now this is because these words, they are rhyming with each other. They are similar in sound. Would, stood, could. So the sound is similar. So therefore, I have given similar alphabet or the same alphabet to these. So would is also A, stood is also A, and could is also A. So the words which have similar sound, they are given the same letter. Similarly, both, it does not rhyme with wood. Therefore, we cannot give A to both also. So the next letter after A is B. So therefore, we will start with B. So now both will get B. And growth and both, they are again rhyming. So growth, undergrowth will also get B. So the rhyme scheme becomes A, B, A, A, B. And it is written like this in small letters. Do not write rhyme scheme in capital letters. So I hope that you've understood how to find rhyme scheme. Now the next literary device is alliteration and personification. So alliteration is because it was grassy and wanted where. So here were of wanted and were of where. Again they are rhyming. That is similar sound. So you will underline the sound like this and then you will write were sound is repeating. So this is alliteration. Now personification in the same line, wanted where, because it was grassy and wanted where. So here it refers to road, and according to the poet, it wanted where. That means the road wants to wear, and want is a human trait. So a road cannot want anything. So therefore this is personification. So wanted wear, you will underline like this in the line, and then you will write that this is personification. Now next is assonance. Now this is a new thing for you, but it is very easy. So few new literary devices I have added because they are going to help you in your next class in standard 10th, but they are so easy that you can learn them now also. Now assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds in nearby words. So very simple. The vowel sounds A, E, I, O, U. So A is the first vowel sound, and assonance also starts with A. So just remember from here. So assonance is vowel sounds. So in this line, and sorry, I could not travel both. So here the highlighted letters O. So here you have O, the highlighted sound in this line. So O sound is repeating. Now the difference between alliteration and assonance is one thing in alliteration, you have to check the beginning letter. But in assonance, the letter it can be anywhere in the line. It can be in the middle of the word, it can be at the last of the word, or it can be the first in the word. It can be anywhere. Whereas in alliteration, the letter should be in the beginning. So remember this. Next comes consonant. So again from the name, it is consonant sound. So assonance is the vowel sound and consonance is the consonant sound. So it is again stylistic literary device identified by the repetition of identical or similar consonant sounds in the neighboring words. So again it is same, but in this case it is consonant sound, that is leaving aside the five vowels, Rest of the 21 letters, they are consonants, so their sounds. Like in this line, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. So the D sound, roads diverged and wood. So this sound is repeating. And now here you can see that the D sound, it is not always in the beginning of the letter. So in diverged, it is in the beginning, but roads, it's in the middle, not in the middle, like it is second last, whereas in the wood, it is last. So D sound is repeating. So this is consonants. So now alliteration means that the letter, it should be in the beginning of the word. Assonance means the vowel sounds A, E, I, O, U, and consonance means the consonant sounds. The assonant sound and the consonant sound, it can be anywhere in the word, whereas alliteration should be the beginning of the word. So very simple. Now we come to the next literary device, enjambment. Now again, this is very easy. It means to refer to the lines that end without punctuation and without completing a sentence or clause. Thus, the sentence runs from one poetic line to the next without terminal punctuation. Now, this definition might seem difficult, but from the example, it will be very clear. So, here I have two lines from the poem. Though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. Now, if you see this first line, though as for that the passing there, after there's no comma, there's no punctuation mark, there is no question mark, there's no semicolon or colon or comma, nothing is there. That means that this line, it is running over to the next line. This line is not complete here. So after same, there's a full stop. That means this whole is one complete line. So this literary device is called enjambment. When one poetic line, this is one poetic line, it runs on to the next poetic line. It does not end there. So that is called enjambment. So in this poem, you will find other examples of enjambment also. So you look into your book and find them. And write them in the comment box, the other examples of the enjambment. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't still. Now, refrain and repetition. Now, again, these are confusing because you always confuse refrain and repetition. So, here I'll tell you what is the difference. We have refrain also in the poem and we have repetition also in this poem. Now, refrain is a type of repetition, but it is a repetition of a line, a phrase, or two or three lines in the poem that regularly repeat in different stanzas. So, this is important. Mostly, refrain is a line, or it is even two or three lines or a phrase, and they repeat regularly in different stanzas. However, the recurrence of words or phrases in repetition, it may occur in any line of the stanza without a pattern. It can be within the line itself, or it can be in any line of the stanza. So I'll give you examples and then you will understand. Like here now, refrain. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. So this is the first line of the poem. Again, two roads diverged in a wood. This is the 17th line of the poem. So this is refrain. We won't call this repetition. So one or two words here and there in refrain, they are okay. It is for poetic rhythm. And repetition, here you can see somewhere ages and ages hence. So this word is repeating within the same line. So this is repetition. So carefully understand the difference. Now comes metaphor. This is very important. The roads in the poem, they stand for choices that we come across in our life. Thus, roads have been used as a metaphor for the choices in life. So, roads actually, they stand for different choices that we have in front of us. So, they are actually metaphor. These choices, they are the metaphor that the poet has used. The whole poem is actually an extended metaphor, as the fork in the road or the two choices in front of the poet, that is the metaphor, it is the point of discussion throughout the poem. So this metaphor, it is carried on throughout the poem. So it is an extended metaphor. Then we have another very interesting literary device, anaphora. Now, this word anaphora, it refers to a poetic technique in which successive phrases or lines begin with the same word. Very simple. Nothing at all difficult. From the name, you may find that it's such a difficult literary device, but it is not at all. So here you can see two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now you can see these three successive lines, and all the three lines they are beginning with the same word and. So and sorry, and be and looked. So this is called anaphora. So the term it refers to a poetic technique in which successive phrases or lines they begin with the same word. So the beginning word should be the same. Is it clear? So it is anaphora. Now next is imagery. Now imagery is the name given to the elements in a poem that spark off your senses. So any line that sparks of your imagination, gives you a visual, or you are able to feel it. So that is imagery. So images, they need not only be visual, any of the five senses, sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell, they can respond to what the poet writes. So that creates the imagery. For example, in this poem, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. So we can visualize two roads in a forest diverging, so splitting into a fork. Because it was grassy and wanted wear, so we can imagine a grassy road. So all this has created an image in front of us, and therefore it is imagery. Now, tone and mood of the poem. Now, this is again important. Tone is the feeling that is displayed by the author towards the subject of the poem. It means that when the poet is writing the poem, so then what is the feeling with which the poet is writing? So, what feeling is displayed by the author or the poet towards the subject of the poem? But mood is the feeling that is created by the poet for the reader. Mood is the more personal reaction. That means when you are reading the poem, so what feeling comes inside you? That is mood. So mood is my personal feeling. So M from mood, M from my personal. Mood is personal, whereas tone is for the poet. What was the poet feeling at the time when he was writing that poem? And mood is what is my feeling when I am reading that poem. So I hope it is clear now. So mood and tone, they often depend upon each other, and sometimes both of them they are same, because with whatever feeling the poet is writing the poem, the same feeling is projected inside the reader also, but sometimes they are different. So some examples for mood. So the mood of the poem, it can be romantic, realistic, optimistic, pessimistic, gloomy, mournful, or sorrowful. And tone of the poem, it can be serious, humorous, amused, angry, playful, cheerful, sad, or gloomy. Now, since tone is the feeling of the poet towards its subject in the poem while he is writing, so we know what was the feeling of Robert Frost when he was writing this poem. So, Robert Frost actually intended it to be a light-hearted poem because he was writing this poem after an inspiration or to make fun of his friend. But this poem, it has been interpreted as a serious poem. So the mood, it becomes serious, what the reader has taken. So as a solemn and serious poem due to its impact on life. So the tone at some places in this poem, it is meditative, doubtful, and at some times it is pensive. So because the poet, he says that long I stood. So he was in a thoughtful mood. And then when he says that he was in doubt when he had to make a choice. So at some time it is pensive. So this is the tone, and mood is thought provoking. When we read the poem, so obviously we start thinking that yes, this is the this is very much near to my life story. So this actually happens with everyone. Now we come to the last thing, that is the message. So the poet, he wants to us to realize that life is a journey and we must keep on moving ahead. There will be obstacles and moments of confusion and a dilemma. During such trying times, we should contemplate and then take a decision because we can rarely trace our steps back. Our choices and decisions, they shape our life, and before making such a decision, no one can tell what will be the outcome. So rather than being unhappy at what we don't have, we should be happy for what we have. So hope you enjoyed the lesson. Kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't till now so that I can make more informative videos for you. I'll be covering all your English syllabus one by one. So happy watching.